So I have been in the financial industry for about, I would say, 10 years. And one of the first conversations I used to have with researchers is we meet somewhere and they say, what do you do? I say, I work with a financial institution. And they say, can we have your data? And they say, no, we're a financial institution. We don't give data because it's private, it's regulated, and so forth. So I'm sure you're all aware about all of the reasons why financial institutions cannot share their data. There are regulations by the government because they don't want the data to influence the behavior of the markets. And the second reason is, of course, privacy of the individuals. So one thing we did at TD Ameritrade. Great, thanks. So to address this problem, at TD Ameritrade, we created this environment on Amazon Cloud, and we took a huge amount of data, basically the transactions of all of our clients, all the trades. We have about like 400,000 trades a day. We made those data available to researchers from a number of universities. And although it was anonymized data, of course, we were aware of all kinds of issues involved with de-identification. We just to play around with the data, we looked at examples where there are some zip codes where if you knew the zip code, the age of the person and their gender, you'd have 1 in 3 chances of identifying the person. So de-identification was one of the biggest challenges that we had. And so what we did, of course, we just removed those zip codes. We looked at any zip code that had less than a few thousand people. We just did not include them in the data set. Still, the odds of identifying a person were still about 1 in 30 or something, which is not negligible. Now, I don't know if there is a way around that, but no matter what we do with anonymization, there's always ways to de-identify. So there is a huge opportunity in finding solutions to that problem, especially that financial institutions today, they are desperate to have their data analyzed. And typically what we do is we use a number of, well, I'm not there anymore, but we used to use a number of services where we would ship our data to a third party. They would do all kinds of predictive analytics, and then they would send the results to us. Now, I mean, as you know, this process is full of vulnerabilities in the sense that the data is sent somewhere in the cloud. We trust in SSL, but then once it gets into the servers of the third-party company, then anyone within the company who has access to these databases can get into the data. So there is huge opportunity in finding a better way, because financial institutions are reluctant to do this, but they have to. And if there are solutions where they can do it in a safer way, I think that will increase the use of data tremendously. So that's the opportunity of doing that. Another opportunity, which I think is huge, it comes in the counterparty risk. So for those who are not familiar with counterparty risk, is financial institutions, they have huge assets that sit on their balance sheet. And every night, they loan those assets, the cash or the securities, to third parties because why not? Otherwise, they give up the opportunity to make money. And financial institutions always need to borrow money overnight because they're not always, they don't always have all the cash or all the securities they need to fulfill the needs of their clients. So there is huge movement, there is a huge banking system that operates that way. Now, when, let's say I'm Fidelity, I want to loan cash to Bear Stearns overnight, I need collateral. But in order to do that, I have to qualify Bear Stearns to see how safe they are. And I have to qualify their collateral, how safe they are. Now, Bear Stearns could be the safest company in the world, but I know once I give them that cash, they're not going to sit on it. They'll give it to somebody else. Then they could be trustworthy, but is somebody else trustworthy also? So there is this cascade of trust that has to go through the whole system. Now, the solution to address that is to make the data available. So when I loan money to Bear Stearns, I need to know how far does their chain go and how trustworthy the system is. Of course, nobody wants to make those data available for all kinds of reasons. Even if they wanted to, it's a lot of data. And I remember after 9/11, I mean, after the 2008 financial crisis, the OFR, the Office of Financial Research, came to us and asked for data. They said, we don't have the data to address the problem. And we said, sure, we give you data. So we gave them data, and the next day they called us and they said, what do you expect us to do with this? We gave them like terabytes of data. So it's a huge amount of data that needs to be processed. And
the transaction that.
Yes.
So where this money possibly is going to end up?
Yes, but that's only from one company's point of view. So if you were to draw a network map, basically it will be our company, and you will see spokes going to all of the other companies. But then we don't know how far the network goes. We try to play all kinds of guessing games and doing some kind of analytics of data to try to guess based on a natural flow of things, statistically how deep the network should go. But of course, that does not replace the real thing. Now, everybody wants to do it. Everybody wants to share the data because everybody will feel safer if there was a better environment, if they could control risk in a better way. But in order to do that, they have to do it in a secure way. So I see that as one of the biggest opportunities for the financial system where you can share data at a macro level without compromising the security or the privacy of any particular financial institution or any particular individual. That's from the positive opportunity. Then the negative opportunity is, I'm sure, I mean, you guys are all security experts, and you know that hackers, basically, they can get into any system they want to because corporations have so many holes in their security systems, no matter how much they secure the perimeter. The unique thing about the financial industry is hackers make a lot of money when they get into a financial institution. If they hack into targets or whatever, maybe they get some credit cards or they can blackmail targets. But if they hack into a financial institution, they can actually transfer money, they can place trades, they can actually make a lot of money. I have no idea to what extent this is happening. I'll be really, really surprised if it didn't happen. And lots of these hackers are smart enough to stay under the radar. So there is a lot of hacking going on. They're profiting tremendously from that. So the cost to the financial industry is tremendous. That's another area where, of course, security can make a big difference. The nasty one that's happening nowadays is all the blackmailing. Hackers that get into financial institution, and of course they blackmail the institution. They say, if you don't give us, I don't know, X millions of dollars, we'll go public with this. I don't have any official data. I know it happens. I don't know which institutions pay up, which don't. I would guess a lot of them end up paying up because the cost is huge. So I can stop here and take any questions since I think I'm over my time. Yeah.
So this counter security.
Counterparty risk.
So can it be modeled as there is a graph?
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically is the connection between the companies, and each node knows who the neighbors are.
Yes.
And then you want to somehow securely discover that if I take this trade this way, that I give this money this way, is it going towards a path of
Yeah.
higher level or trust or lower level of trust or something like that? Is that the way?
Yes, absolutely. So imagine you have that network, and then you can use some method like a percolation theory. You say, okay, let's say this node failed, Bear Stearns failed. Okay, how does that failure propagate through the network? So Bear Stearns owes money to J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan owes money to Goldman, and so forth. So that's.
But you don't know the structure of the graph,
You don't, and I mean there are a number of research papers that came up using data sets that were made public by Italy, Israel, and a number of other countries, but they're very limited. But there is huge opportunity if the rest of the financial industry made those available, in a secure way, of course. Yeah.
Actually, a very related problem at the level of computer science in the same networking question, which is about money laundering.
Yeah.
Money laundering, you also are looking for patterns in this network. This is where the money is going.
Absolutely.
That's something that they also were trying to have a secure way of
Yeah.
then more questions.
James Bond.